Hello everyone and welcome into the FedEx Preview Show. I'm Jonathan Merryman, joined by my friend Marty Snider from NBC Sports. Marty, I think we're good luck. We had Denny on last week in Daytona. He goes out and wins the Daytona 500.
He told me Sunday, by the way, he's willing to be on the show all year long if that's what it takes to win every race, right?
Absolutely. He was super impressive in that race.
He was very impressive with what he did, and I would say with the way that he managed the draft and the way he was aggressive up front, keeping his car up front. And you got to think about all the problems the 11 team went through during the race. They had the fueling issues, couldn't get the car full. They were off sequence from everybody else, yet they were able to overcome all of that. And to me, it really comes down to the teamwork with Joe Gibbs Racing at the end of the race. Kyle Busch, and I think he's sort of beating himself up about it, being willing to let Denny Hamlin out in front. They felt like that was their best shot to be able to win the race and sort of race it out between the two of them. But Denny did everything he needed to do, put himself out front, was aggressive when it counted. And it's the little things, right? He side drafted his teammate Kyle Busch at the very end there. That gave him the lead when that final caution came out, gave him the lane choice on that final restart, and that wound up being big. But Denny Hamlin certainly did all that he needed to do to be able to win the Daytona 500.
Marty, definitely a big win for the 11 team. We know last year not so great for them. I had a chance to talk with Denny earlier in the week about how validating winning so early in 2019 will be. Talk to me a little bit about, is this validating for you? Obviously, I mean, you pay attention to social media, and after a winless season, people start talking. Does this validate you? I know you said last night drivers don't peak till they're 39, you're 38, but I mean, it's got to feel good after last year.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. If you have a winless season, you want to win the first race of the next season. It's important for us to get this win for sure. But me and Chris were talking last night about Atlanta. What are we going to do to kind of get ready for there? And you want to keep the momentum going. You don't want to go in the middle of the summer and be like, oh yeah, well we won that race back in February at Daytona. So this is a great one. You don't want to take it for granted. If you don't win another race, this one's special. But we plan on winning a bunch this year.
All right, let's talk about Atlanta Motor Speedway. That track is worn out. Everybody says don't pave it, don't pave it. They haven't paved it yet. Now you combine that old worn out surface with the 550 motor package in the big spoiler. We're not seeing full aero ducts at Atlanta just yet. What do you anticipate us seeing once we get on track?
It's funny. I was talking to Alan Gustafson about this very topic, and he said, I don't know what we're going to see when we get to Atlanta. It's going to be very interesting. The new package really kind of unveils this weekend. Of course, it'll be unveiled fully at Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. But I think what we're going to see with this package and the worn-out racetrack at Atlanta is racing all over the track. I think it's going to be awesome to watch. And Atlanta provides even more side-by-side racing than a typical racetrack does. So I think we're going to see fantastic racing this weekend. But we really don't know until we get in the race what's going to happen with this package. Because you remember, there was an Atlanta test at the end of last year, but there were only 4 cars at that test. So we won't really know until we get there.
All right, I have a bit of a theory. Debunk it if you can. I think some of the guys with more recent Xfinity experience might succeed at Atlanta, especially moving on to Vegas. But Atlanta, I really think we might see some of those young guys challenge, maybe have a new name in Victory Lane.
I think some of the young guys could certainly challenge this weekend. But to me, what it comes down to at Atlanta is the ability to be good at a low-grip racetrack. And I think of veterans like Kevin Harvick, I think Brad Keselowski. Those are the guys who are very good at low-grip kind of racetracks, and I think that's going to be the biggest key this weekend. Yes, the experience for the package is going to play, but I think how you manipulate that draft, how you find a way to get out front, because that's going to be the key at the end of the day. How you're able to do that, I think that's going to take a veteran to be able to make that happen.
All right, so are you picking a veteran in your fantasy lineup?
I am. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick this weekend because I think he's so good at Atlanta. He's so good at low-grip racetracks. So I'm going to think Kevin Harvick. When you think in your fantasy lineup, think Brad Keselowski if you can afford to put him in. I think those guys are going to be very strong at Atlanta this weekend. But I could see a young guy running well. I can buy into your theory of a young guy running well this weekend.
All right, I am going to pick a young guy. I'm going to pick Chase Elliott. It's a big hometown race for him. I think Hendrick Motorsports, they started to turn the corner at the end of last year. I think they ride that momentum. The 9-car finds Victory Lane. And where you can see if we are right, this Sunday, 2 p.m. on Fox, it's the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Make sure you tune in, and we'll see you next week as we get ready to head to Las Vegas.